You're watching Talking Points, a focus on the political scene in Lubbock and across the South Plains.
Welcome back. Here's a look at some of the political headlines of the past week. A couple of bills signed into law by the governor have local connections, one being Senate Bill 194, authored by Lubbock's Charles Perry and referred to as Holly's Bill by members of the family of Holly Jeffcoat. Holly was sexually assaulted and murdered by her stepfather here 3 years ago. This new law adds the criminal offense of indecent assault and allows victims a longer period of time to file complaints and protective orders. And the governor also approving broader anti-hazing laws in Texas. Senate Bill 38 further defines what hazing is and outlines punishment for students caught taking part in this. This in part comes in memory of Texas Tech student Dalton Debrick, who died after a fraternity party. Dalton's mother, Debbie, testified in front of the legislative committee in support of the bill. She told us, quote, "Finally something good to come out of our tragedy." These laws take effect September 1st. Customs and Border Protection reported nearly 133,000 migrants taken into custody in the month of May alone. The governor, fed up with inaction by Congress, deciding to send 1,000 Texas National Guard troops to the border to help. At least the feds will pay for that guard, and a $4.9 billion emergency border funding package was finally approved by a Senate committee this week. KMAC's Anna Warnicki has more on that.
This humanitarian and security crisis has been going on a long time, and it just keeps getting worse.
Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn says the border towns on the front lines of the immigration crisis are going broke.
Dealing with a lot of unaccompanied children and families, handing out juice boxes and diapers.
And the communities on the Mexican border have been forced to cover the costs until now. On Thursday, the Senate Appropriations Committee passed a $4.6 billion emergency funding bill, which includes $30 million to pay communities and private organizations that have cared for the thousands of migrants at the U.S.-Mexico border.
This is a little bit of needed and long overdue temporary relief to those border communities, and will help them get well and keep doing what they're doing to help address this humanitarian crisis. Communities
and organizations must apply to be reimbursed for 2019 expenses.
$30 million is just going to be for the end of the year.
Texas Republican Congressman Will Hurd says while he welcomes the help, it's not enough.
This is going to have to be something that continues into the next fiscal year.
Hurd says it's only a Band-Aid on a larger problem.
The long-term fix is not treating everybody that comes into our country as if they're an asylum seeker.
I know the demand and the impact on Texas and on our border communities is great.
But before these communities see any money, Cornyn says Congress still needs to step up and pass the bill in the Senate and in the House. In Washington, I'm Anna Warnicki.
And a part of the reason that gears move slowly on immigration is that both political parties seem to want to stall and make this a political issue for the 2020 election cycle. You saw Senator Cornyn there. He's up for re-election in 2020. He spoke recently to the Texas Boys State Youth Leadership Conference, saying he's filing legislation to promote more civic education in this country. KMAC's Wes Rappaport asked him about that and more for 5 good minutes.
Senator Cornyn, thanks for your time. Want to talk to you about this, your work on civic education, and tell me a little bit about this act that you've introduced and what you're hoping to accomplish.
Well, it seems obvious from our political discourse these days when we find ourselves talking about what is democratic socialism and the criticism we see of the free enterprise system, that we need to kind of go back to basics and figure out how did we get here and enjoy the great prosperity that our country offers and the freedom we have as Texans and Americans. So I think it's important to go back and remind all of our young people of that history and those lessons so they don't have to learn them the hard way.
This also ties in with a lot of what the state of Texas and the legislature was doing specifically with education reform. How does your legislation kind of tie into what they were working on this session? And talk to me a little bit about kind of the state versus federal relationship in terms of that education focus.
Well, as you know, public education is primarily a state function. About 90% of it's financed from the state, about 10% from the federal government. Really all we can do at the federal level is offer some additional funds to hire and train staff. And there are a lot of really great programs to train teachers so they are better prepared to teach civics education when they come back to their high schools and middle schools. I'm glad to hear of the state legislature's efforts because, again, what we have is a perishable thing, which is our freedom, our prosperity, our opportunity, and that's going to be under assault, not so much from people who would try to forcibly take it away from us, but by our complacency or lack of appreciation for the importance of those principles.
It takes bipartisanship to get anything done, right? And I want to ask you about that in relation to some of the conversations about the border. You've worked on legislation across the aisle with Representative Cuellar, the Humane Act. Tell me a little bit about what it's going to take, both in a bipartisan nature and, talking with the people of Texas to help find some solutions to immigration and some of these border conversations.
Well, we can't get anything done without some bipartisan cooperation and cooperation between the House and the Senate and, of course, a presidential signature. That's what it takes to get a bill to become a law. And unfortunately, this issue has become one where people are polarized. Some people have denied we actually have a crisis, even though President Obama in 2014 called this a humanitarian and security crisis, and it's done nothing but gotten worse. We'll work our way through this, but I'm grateful for the fact that in Texas we have some a good bipartisan cooperation on border and trade issues, and Congressman Cuellar, I think, has been the best example of a Democrat who I've worked with on a regular basis on those issues.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Well, straight ahead, you get the feeling that the state's new school finance law is making public school teaching a more attractive job now.